Hello everyone, welcome back to the Avalon game project. Last time we have implemented the handle game started method. Today we're going to finish the test and see if we can proceed. Okay, so as usual, let's run all the unit tests. We're getting a pass, which is good. So let's open the game service test. Do we have one? Services. Oh, we don't. Okay. Yeah, but again, the way we're approaching this isn't exactly correct. What we should have been doing is to writing tests while we implement this function. The problem I had was I wanted to use this opportunity to establish some patterns so that later we can just follow the same pattern and basically do less thinking. So doing that and writing tests is a bit tedious. Plus, I'm explaining what I'm doing, so that makes it even harder. But in reality, we really should be writing the tests while writing the code. Finishing everything, then writing tests. Well, it's still better than not writing tests, but doing it while writing the test is definitely recommended. It keeps you honest, it keeps you thinking. So that's basically TDD, which I think is a great approach. So with that being said, let's write the test. Game service py. I like to drag things into places. So first of all, let's mock all the dependencies. We have repository, we have player service, and we have com service. So what we have is pytest.fixture def repository mocker repository. Yes. Okay. That's okay. Nope. I thought this would be smarter. Okay. No. Okay. Okay, now we have fixtures. And at this point, I just wanted to create. Okay. Okay, now we have created the fixtures. Okay, let's do that test. Handle game started. We need a game service, of course. We need a repository. We need the player service, and we need the com service because we have invoked everything. So in the beginning, given what did we? Oh my god, it is generating a lot, but I don't think I like any of it. And they even got the parameters wrong. Oh god, That's not right. Okay. So yeah, just a little bit off topic here. Remember when I said, I think in my first few videos, that there is still a long way, a very, very long way until software engineers can be replaced by AIs. Well, this is a great example. Like, they can't even generating some like logic. They make some very very obvious and basic mistakes, like giving the wrong parameters to a function. I think Apple has just published a study stating, arguing that even large language models, even the most advanced large language models, they do not find them to be able to reason. So even very basic, like very basic math questions, like just changing some texts would make it like be wrong more than half of the time. So yeah, if you happen to come across this video, I encourage you that don't worry too much about the future of software engineering industry. I do believe it is still a long way to go. Like, it has just started booming. Okay, enough of blabbing. Let's continue. So what we're testing. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at the code. So what we have done, we have got the game. We have so first of all, we need to come up with an event, right? So event equals to we need to get an event. Okay, what we're having here, give me some prompts. Game ID. Actually, I need game ID. ID equals to game ID. Game ID. Game type dot event type. Event type dot game started. Then we have recipients, which is we have decided it is we keep it empty to make it public. The payload being the game config, and we need a game config. Let's take a look. So do we really need the game configs? Looks like we do. So what can we do about it? Actually, no. Game config, we're not really using game config here, are we? We only have players. What are we doing with the config? The config, we're only passing it to assign rows. So the game config can be magic mark. Okay, now we give it game config, and what else? That's it, right? What else? Timestamp. It has its own timestamp, but let's create our own timestamp. I don't think we need it. Okay, well, we'll add it when we need it. We actually come across it. So now we have a proper event. After the event, let's see what we're doing. So we need a game. The game here, it can also be a magic mark. Not create a game, but get game. So the get game is Oh, so game.status equals to game status dot not started. Not create game, but repository dot get game. So we have that. Then we have player service dot assign roles, and now we need a list of players, and we need a list of players. So yes, we need players. So we are actually going to do something with the players. So I want to actually generate a couple of players just to just for the testing. So let's do let's have a couple of rows. Merlin player equals to player. So what do we have here? ID name secret row. Okay. Player 1 ID name Merlin player row Merlin known players, we don't have it yet. Secret, yeah. Okay, duplicate that. We have Mordred. So instead of 1, this is 2. Mordred player. So instead of Merlin, this is Mordred. And we want to have Percival. Not Percival, Percival. So that's 3. So once we have Percival, and I wanted to have 2 villagers. Wonderful. So not create players. Instead of create players, we need assign roles. So Merlin player dot known player IDs equals to Mordred player dot ID, and yeah, that's it. So Merlin knows Mordred. You know what? This is just a test. Let's not. I know the row is not like this, but bear with me. So they know each other. Let's assume that. And oh, by the way, let's just making okay. So now Percival actually knows Merlin and Mordred. Okay, so let's just do this. Dot return value equals this. Okay, this is player service. What else? We have, yep, that's it. So now when game service dot handle game started, we give it an event. We would assume we want to verify that player service dot assign rows was asserted called once with game ID, of course, and then we need the game.config.rows. We don't have to worry game status. Game status and game.config equals to game config. Okay, config. So we don't have to worry about that because Magic Mock would automatically fill in the not defined properties. So if we know that game.config is a Magic Mock, which is here, we don't have to worry about like this rows is not defined. Okay, so now once game.config.rows, and we want to verify that the repository dot put events assert called once with. So it is called by a by a list. So basically whatever we generated here, it's a bit annoying. So I'm going to create a function, a helper function, just to deal with that. So that get player event. So what we need is the game ID, the player ID or recipient ID. We need the payload. The payload is the row and actually a list of players. Okay, so what we're going to return is a list of events. So we're going to return. Actually, we're going to only return one event. This one event includes game ID. Event type, of course, is game started. I don't understand why this is this stupid. The recipient is non-players. This is player ID, and this is player ID. And we have the payload. The payload include row would be row dot value the known players would be a list of object includes ID, known player dot ID, name, known player dot name, for known player in known players. Okay, so in this case, we can do something like get player event. We know for a fact that this is called by in order. So what Merlin get is the Merlin player ID, the row is Merlin, and the known player is Mordred. Okay, Mordred, Merlin, Percival, Merlin, and Mordred. Villager 1, no, they don't know anything, unfortunately. Same here. So this is what repository put events should be called with. And now the so game dot status equals to game in progress, and we want to verify that this is called by game. So is it passing? No. Why? Assign rows. It's not create players, but assign rows. Oh. Okay, just this would be nice. Run again. What else? So handle game started. String object is not callable. Why? Oh, this value isn't a function, my bad. I always confuse, this always makes me very, very confused. Okay, what else? What else is incorrect? So assertion is failing because let's see, what is the expected? Game ID, game started, recipients, yeah, payload. The timestamp. Okay. Okay. I'm going to timestamp equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now each event get a no. So the event is actually the event ID is generated in the So get player event. So we actually should be patching things here. So what we do is marker.patch. So what is the event path? The event dot we're patching date time here. So the mark date time dot now dot return value dot timestamp dot return value equals timestamp. So now the event is going to have a timestamp. So it's still failing because put events dict values. What? That's so event. Okay. Put events. Let me do this. List. Okay. Everything so far so good. The difference, the timestamp. So apparently we are not we're not mocking the right thing, or at least it failed. I wonder why. So gamecore.entities.event, isn't that date time? So date time this is what we're marking. Date time dot now dot return value dot timestamp dot return value equals to timestamp. Right. But in the test we are seeing that the timestamp isn't that. So if that's the case, I really wonder why this isn't correct. Date time. Game core entities event. Yeah, it's always those things. Like it's the smallest thing. I know it's working, but it's just so annoying. I really don't understand why. No, the timestamp isn't correct. Put events. We just need the event to be the right time. The expected we're getting the right time, but not the. So after the payload, it is timestamp. So game ID, event type, payload. Maybe we should move this. To here. Nope. I wonder, can we, this is really annoying. This is so annoying. Why? What can we do? Now the timestamp. Okay. Yeah, it's marker.patch. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna do something more radical. So instead of mocking the timestamp, I'm gonna mock the event class itself. Okay, so actually, no, I don't think we need this. Let's see if I can get away with it. So I will event. Would this work? Nope. I don't want it to become a mock. Mock event dot side effect equals to lambda How about now? Still game ID. How about now? Nope. Oh, okay. This actually worked. Nice. Which is pretty good. Now, the comm service send the game started. Nope. We actually, that's not what we did. This is what we called was notify. Wait a second. So now the player events, now we have to deal with this. No, this is repository actually. Repository dot repository dot put game. So what we have now is not right. Why? We're missing. Oh, we don't have game ID, of course. So we have this. Cool. Now we just need to verify this particular function. So okay, so player ID. Actually, let's do this. Player ID. Oh, this is players. So players equals to players, and here we have events. So now what we want to verify is for player event in zip players events. So what this zip does is to use this as a key, this as a value to use two arrays of equal length to create a dictionary. So these are the keys, these are the values. So that's why we could just iterate through that. So now com service dot notify dot assert called assert no, we can't use assert called once with, so my bad. So it's actually, so let's do calls equals to call player dot id and event for is actually this unit test. So what we do is com service dot notify dot assert has calls, and we want to any order is okay. It doesn't really matter. So now, wait, why are we only testing this one particular test? This is not right. We want to test everything. Yep. So cool. Now we have it. So I think a couple of things we did here. I know this this looks weird. I myself, in the beginning, I'm very confused about the args, the keyword args, and how these things are. So these two values basically saying is that whatever I get, no matter if it's the positional arguments or the keyword arguments like this, I'm going to pass it to event. But on top of that, I'm going to pass one more parameter, which is timestamp. So remember why we wanted to do this. We wanted to do this because when we testing which events are sent to put events here, put events here, we want to verify that these are the exact events that we prepared here. But these events are created here. We are not giving it a timestamp for now, so we're not giving a timestamp. Then when this instance is being created, it automatically created one itself. We tried to mock this module in the event, this datetime package in the event module, but the problem is this module is already loaded by the time the game service is initialized in the fixture. So at this time, it's already too late for us to patch too late for us to patch the module. So we have no other option than just mark this event in the game service module to do something less ideal. It's a little bit confusing, but it works. So we're not super worried. I think another thing is how we do it here, like the zip. So, okay, actually, I want to move this to here. In this way, I think we can be so it's clear, right? So here we're defining everything, and here we're just verifying the options. So the other thing is zip. So like I mentioned, it's basically a built-in method. So this zip is not like compressing. It's that one is we actually have a library called zip file, I believe. So this zip simply combines two lists. So remember, in dictionaries we could always use items to iterate through a dictionary to get its key value pairs. So zip does the same thing. So basically it takes one list and another list and assume they are the same length, and then what it returns is a dictionary of the item in the first list being the keys and the item in the second list being the values. That's why we can do this loop here. So basically we're zipping them together to iterate through them. The reason why we could do that is because we have manually confirmed that the players and the events are matched one by one. See, this is the Merlin player and then this is the event for the Merlin player, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I think we have got the happy path, but the unhappy path here, we do have a little bit of validation, which is that either we cannot get the game, or the game status is incorrect. So we also want to handle the error cases. Let's do that. We want to cover this because validation is a vital step of a function. Verifying when it would interrupt the execution and exit is vital. So and it's actually very easy. Yeah, actually it's already written pretty good. Let's see. So we have marker at the game service. I actually also want to have a player service here, a repository. So game ID, game config. So I don't think these are even needed, right? So we get the game the first thing. So all we need is an event, the game config. Actually, let's use a marker.magicmark here. This is good enough. So we don't even need the game because we know it's gonna. Yes, let's. So, okay. At this point, I don't need the game. Well, okay, it's already started. Fine. So we need one. The status is in progress. So that means we don't want to start a already started game. Actually, you know what? Let's put things even one step further. pytest.mark.parameterize. Let's just do game status. The game status, we want to verify either it's game status dot in progress or game status dot what else it has, finished. So now game status, so we want the game status being the actual game status. So repository.getGame .game.return value is this. So now we win with the pytest.raises value error. Okay, so now we want to verify that player service dot first of all the repository.getGame called once by with game ID. The player service.assign rows assert not called. The put events not called. The com service.notify not called. We don't have notify? Yeah, we do. Why? Oh, we don't have com service here. That's why. Com service. Okay. So now things are all passing very good. And another thing we want to verify is that, let's copy everything. Paste it. Started again with game already started. So this is with game not exists. So now we don't even need the game anymore, nor the game status, because the get game return value will just be none, right? So it's the same thing. Okay. Perfect. Yes, we have covered that. Yeah, I think this is a good stop. Like, we write quite some test code. So as you can see, the amount of tests code we have to the code is about 1 to 5, I would say, or 1 to 6. This is about right. Well, I think normally I could simplify this even further and break down the tests, but I think this is good enough because I kind of want to keep things together. Break it even down, I think in this particular case would interfere with its readability. Okay, so and at this point I just want to remove this one because we no longer need it. Cool, now I think we have finally implemented the first part of the, let's go back, the game setup state. Yeah, so we have finished this one. And frankly speaking, I think now is the time to do integration test, because same as unit test, we want to know that this would work. We want to know that this would work. This particular state would just work. I'm hesitating if we want to do integration test in the at the very end, or do we want to set up now? Because setting up integration test environment, all the other scaffolding takes quite some time. We could potentially just go through all the states and services. I think I want to go through everything before I do integration test, because again, that scaffolding takes a very long time, and I don't want to deviate from implementing the core logic. The core logic has nothing to do with the external world, and it should just be just a pure logic, a pure function. As you can see, like, we don't consider the database or whatever. We're just assuming, okay, there is a service to deal things for us, and even in the service layer, we just assume, okay, the repository is just going to give us a player, and how exactly it's going to give us the player, we don't know yet. We are going to trust that when we actually put this in an environment where we will be able to implement something just for the game core logic and just inject the logic in, same as comm service. I think I'll stop here today. I think next time we can, so if we have decided to go on, the next one should be the team selection state. In this state, I think we'll have to deal with the handle team proposal submitted. Okay, the game setup, team selection. So I think, yeah, we'll start with on enter, because we'll have to understand, in team selection, remember, the problem is we don't know where it comes from. So if it comes from mission voting or game started, we need to create a mission, then a round. But if it comes from the round voting, all we need to do is just create a round. And of course, change the current leader. And speaking of current leader, I do believe we, in the game setup state, we want to do something else. So when we start the game, I think in the event, it should give us a list of player IDs, so that we know in which order the team leader role should be rotated. Because when we actually sit in the same room to play this game, this piece of software should also help the players to play things in the same room. And I think it's vital for the players to be able to provide us the order of the actual sitting, instead of just randomly the game forcing the players to randomly decide the order. So I think we are still not done. Yeah, I think that's one thing we're missing here. Um, and this one's simple enough. I think all we need to do is so basically verify if there is a player ID passed in. So basically add a event validation here. So we need the player IDs, and we need to match all the player IDs are valid and inclusive. So basically it should be all the player IDs. It shouldn't be missing someone. And then we want to save this player ID to the game, and we also then we want to add this current leader or leader ID to the game data class, because I think this value should belong to the game. Or what we could do is to give it to the round. I'm still debating, but either way, we will have to make some changes to the input. So okay, I think I'll stop here. And thank you everyone. See you next time. Bye.